Nobel laureate Professor Soyinka has publicly criticized President Bola Tinubu's recent nationwide address. Soyinka slammed Tinubu for failing to address the brutality against bad governance protesters. Soyinka said, "I set my alarm clock for this morning to ensure that I did not miss President Bola Tinubu's impatiently awaited address to the nation on the current unrest across the nation. Such short-changing of civic deserving, regrettably, goes to arm the security forces in the exercise of impunity and condemns the nation to a seemingly unbreakable cycle of resentment and reprisals." According to Soyinka, live bullets as state response to civic protest that becomes the core issue. Even tear gas remains questionable in most circumstances, certainly in abuse in situations of clearly peaceful protest. Hunger marches constitute a universal SOS, not peculiar to the Nigerian nation. They belong indeed in a class of their own, never mind the collateral claims emblazoned on posters. They serve as summons to governance that a breaking point has been reached and thus a testing ground for governance awareness of public desperation. The tragic response to the ongoing hunger marches in parts of the nation, and for which notice was served, constitutes a retrogression that takes the nation even further back than the deadly culmination of the watershed EndSARS protests. It evokes pre-independence, that is, colonial acts of disdain, a passage that induced the late-stage pioneer Hubert Ogunde's folk opera Bread and Bullets, earning that nationalist serial persecution and proscription by the colonial government. Soyinka noted that the nation's security agencies cannot pretend unawareness of alternative models for emulation, civilized advances in security intervention. He said, "Need we recall the nationwide 2022-23 editions of what is generally known as the Yellow Vest movement in France? Perhaps it is time to make such scenarios compulsory viewing in policing curriculum. In all of the coverage that I watched, I did not catch one single instance of a gun leveled at protesters, much less fired at them, even during direct physical confrontations. The serving of bullets where bread is pleaded is ominous retrogression, and we know what that eventually proves. A prelude to far more desperate upheavals, not excluding revolutions. The time is long overdue, surely, to abandon permanently the anachronistic resort to lethal means by the security agencies of governance. No nation is so underdeveloped, materially impoverished, or simply internally insecure as to lack the will to set an example. All it takes is to recall its own history, then exercise the will to commence a lasting transformation, inserting a break in the chain of lethal responses against civic society. Today's marchers may wish to consider adopting the key songs of Hubert Ogunde's Bread and Bullets, if only to inculcate a sense of shame in the continuing failure to transcend the lure of colonial inheritance where we all were at the receiving end. One way or the other, Tinubu's vicious cycle must be broken." Professor Soyinka echoed, "Please like, share and subscribe." Thanks for watching.